I'm Max Brown, President of Garrett Leather.
Thank you for joining us, Max. I'd love to start by having you share the story behind Garrett Leather, the inspiration as well as your journey that has brought you here today.
Well, thank you for having me, Farshid. Happy to tell the story of how Garrett was founded. Garrett was started in the attic of my house 35 years ago in 1988. My father started the business, and since our last name's Brown, didn't want to call the company the Brown Leather Company. We've got a lot more colors than that. But Garrett is the Old English word for the attic, and just really represents where the business was founded.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about the types of customers that you have, the customer segments that you sell into. Just interested in understanding the products that you create and who you sell to.
We sort of have two main markets. We have our transportation market and we have our architecture and design market. So in the A&D market, we're selling to hospitality, residential, and commercial interior designers, primarily using our leather for furniture and for wall panels and wall coverings. On the transportation side of things, we sell into private aviation. So people flying private jets most likely have Garrett Leather on their seats.
That's remarkable. And inside of the A&D community, I'd love to understand how you actually gain sales, create a pipeline, and work your way through that ecosystem, because it can be quite a complicated ecosystem to navigate.
Absolutely. One of the things we've really pushed the company towards in the last 10 years is having the absolute best service in the industry. So with that, we have full-time account executives in the field who can meet with clients. They know leather, and that's what they focus on full-time. Leather's a natural material, so it's not as easy as vinyl coming off a roll. There's a little bit more to it to bring you that beautiful, genuine product.
Now, I have to disclose, I'm a personal fan of your company. I've even purchased products from you. I was blown away in terms of how amazing the quality of products that you guys have are. Really, really, truly high end. You're installed in jets. You're in a lot of locations. Share with me some of the recent projects that you may have performed, or some of just the highlights that could have come from Material Bank.
Sure. A really cool recent one we did was the Brooklyn Nets Players Lounge, where all the players get to hang out after the games. But the one that I'm always most proud to share with everyone is being in the White House. So we've been in the Roosevelt Room in the Oval Office, the inauguration chairs, and this has been across the last 3 or 4 administrations. So we don't need to talk politics, but we've been in the White House for a long time and continue to be.
And rumor has it that you guys were involved in a famous young celebrity. I'm going to call her a singer who sells out more stadiums across the country than any single person has in the past. I understand you actually did some work on her jet as well.
Absolutely. That's a huge part of our business, the private aviation market. A lot of times they're confidential about who the end user is, who the client is. But, sometimes we get a little whisper about some of the celebrities that are sitting on Garrett Leather as they're flying across the country on tour or for business or other uses.
Now, you guys can obviously have the breadth, the resources to go out and find leads through a number of different paths. I'm curious where else you go to be able to obtain high quality leads away from Material Bank, and how you would rank Material Bank unbiased versus some of these other avenues.
Yeah, so outside of Material Bank, we've got our sales team going through, the local design magazines, looking for designers that they may not know about. We also have an inside sales team who's focused on finding new leads, and they're generally, honestly, just using Google searches. So those can be hit or miss. You never know if it's a current account, if they do a lot of business or not. So that's really the other way that we focus on it beyond Material Bank. But since we started with Material Bank, our daily lead report, our monthly lead report continues to grow day after day and month after month.
And how do you find the quality of Material Bank leads? How has this served your company in growing overall sales?
They've been very high. A lot of even places that we didn't traditionally think of. So traditionally we think of interior design firms, but there's also a lot of corporate and facilities managers type accounts that are coming through Material Bank that we wouldn't even have on our radar because we wouldn't be searching for them through our sort of traditional methods.
So you supported us from day one, and we're forever loyal. You're one of the founding partners in this category for us. Share with me, what did you see in that early stage? What surprised you to date with Material Bank?
So we had been approached and had even participated in aggregation websites that keep a list of vendors. But Material Bank was really the first that I saw that had really the firepower to actually build a fulfillment facility. And seeing that, I was worried about not being a part of it. It seemed like this is going to be the category killer and that we needed to be a part of it. So we were an early adopter with Material Bank. Just really happy to see the continuation from what we started, so many years ago.
Would you recommend Material Bank to other brands and other companies who are thinking about joining?
I would. I think other brands always think about the cost and they're going to have to pay for a lead or pay for fulfillment. But for us, it's been well worth it. And, it's hard to see your competitor on there potentially getting leads for a project without you getting the same ones or without you having your sample right next to them.
From day one, we've had a very strong commitment. We're one of the very few companies that have joined the climate pledge. To date, just some recent statistics, we have saved roughly 4 million packages by aggregating, by placing multiple brands inside of that same box. That's roughly 1,500 tons of cardboard, 25,000 plus trees that have been saved. Please share with us how important sustainability is in the leather industry and how important it is really to Garrett Leather.
Sustainability is super important to Garrett Leather. Love being a part of Material Bank and love seeing all the sample returns that come back to be able to reuse samples and not have them thrown out. A lot of people get confused about leather and how it pertains to sustainability. So leather as a whole is a byproduct of the meat industry. And so what would otherwise be thrown in a landfill or not used is able to be created and transformed into a beautiful covering that would replace vinyl or silicone or polyurethane fabrics. What Garrett Leather is doing specifically towards sustainability, primarily right now working on our LBC Red List Free designation. So we've got 13 of our product lines already designated LBC Red List Free. We also have Green Guard Gold certification for all of our leathers. And we continue to work with the highest end tanneries in Italy to produce our leather, whereas a lot of other companies in the industry are going to other countries which don't have the same environmental and chemical regulations that Italy and that Europe does.
And you source most of your materials from Europe, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. About 98% of our materials are Italian sourced.
And share with us, so that our designers can come to Material Bank and find these products, share with us some recent collections or just products that have just made a difference in catching your eye or things that are innovative that our audience should look for.
Yeah, and really point you to our Bellissimo line that we launched last year. It's amazing because it gives you the look and feel of a really beautiful worn-in leather, but it doesn't scratch. And I notice, when I'm out visiting designers, a lot of them will take their fingernails and scratch the sample and they'll say, oh no, our clients don't like that. But then the clients obviously want the leather to look genuine and want it to look worn in. So our Bellissimo leather has a really worn in, beautiful look to it, a really high contrast, but it stays the same. It doesn't scratch. You're not going to have kids playing tic-tac-toe on the banquette in a restaurant. So really, really beautiful leather is our Bellissimo collection. In addition to Bellissimo, I would highlight 6 of our leathers that are actually fully waterproof. So these are going to be fantastic leathers for use in high traffic areas. This is our Berkshire, our Cadence, our Garrett, Bellissimo, which I already spoke about, our Rill, and our Torino lines. So fully waterproof, able to be used in high traffic areas, and just beautiful leathers on top of that.
And I noticed that you guys have virtually everything in stock in significant quantities, because you work on at times very large projects. Share with us what that looks like from an inventory management perspective.
We do. We keep a massive inventory. It drives our accountants crazy, but what we tell them is that is our competitive advantage. So we're typically stocking 2 to 3,000 square feet of any leather at a given time. A unique thing we do is we allow clients to log into our website and actually check inventory and place an order online. So I know a lot of designers end up working late. They're there at 8:30. They've got a client meeting in the morning. With Garrett Leather, they can go on our website and check inventory and make sure that they're going to show something to their client that they can get shipped out right away.
In the past, not too long ago, you were involved in acquiring other companies. I'm very interested in understanding, particularly because you're in a leadership position in this category. What do you think of M&A inside of this category? Do you think there's more consolidation that takes place? And where will you be inside of that equation?
It's a very interesting question. I can't say where we're going to be in 5 years, but I would say we're definitely interested. And being a leader in this space and what is really a very fragmented space. I mean, there's quite a few leather companies out there, quite a few fabric companies. There's a lot out there, but it's something we're very interested in looking at. In terms of M&A, we did make an acquisition of Mohawk River Leather Works, which is one of the few remaining leather finishers in the US. They're local here in New York State. And what that allows us to do is to make quick turn customs. So designers can select a custom color, they can do a hand antiquing or a hand tipping or really anything to make a very special leather with very low minimums that can ship in about 4 weeks. So it really cuts down on the lead time and the quantity and those requirements that it takes to get full dialettes in from Italy.
Max, thank you for joining me today. Always enjoy our conversations. Wishing you continued success, and to especially thank you for being an early believer in Material Bank. Loyalty will never be lost. Thank you.